Go. All right, guys. So today we have Kelly George. You currently have an Airbnb in Wisconsin that is called Northwoods Old Lodge. How are you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing well today. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Today's a new day. It's sunny where I'm at, and things are good. And we got connected on Facebook and stuff. And thank you for taking the time to kind of tell your story about how you got started as a host and kind of diving into your property and stuff, and take you back to the journey of when you got started as an Airbnb host.
Oh, I got shot out of a cannon. The property is actually my family's lake house that my dad wanted in an escape out of Chicago. We grew up in Chicago, and he wanted property out in the woods, out in the wilderness. And he went looking, and this was an area, in this general area, he used to go fishing with his grandfather up there as a kid. So that's how he got to the local area. And he kept looking around at houses, and he kept looking at all these like small little bungalows. I am one of 6 children, so he kept dragging my mom around to all these small little cottages, and she kept saying, "Oh no, you are not leaving me in the middle of the woods with these 6 kids in this teeny little house." So he kept looking, and this lodge house became available. The story behind it was there was a group of eight guys, investors, all local people. They bought the entire lodge. The lodge had closed, and they bought the entire lodge. Each person took one of the out guest houses for their own personal use, and then they sold the main lodge in its entirety to itself. So they sold to one owner, and there was a gentleman agreement about using the parking lot, the beach, the things like that, all that. And the first owner that they sold to did not like it very well. So they bought it back from him, and they put it on again. And so my dad kind of bumbled through, and he saw that it was for sale, and he said, "Okay, this is the size." And it was in shambles. It was not in good shape. It had no bedrooms. It had nothing. And so he went in and talked with them, put an offer, and they kept saying, "You realize we all share the parking lot, we share the beach, and all this stuff." And my dad says, "Yeah, that means we all have to get along." So these men, they said, "This is the guy for us," being a good neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad bought it, and that was in 1975. So we spent countless weekends driving up and back from Chicago, pretty much every other weekend. We would spend a good portion of the summer, at least all of August is gorgeous up there. We would spend some fall up there, 3-day weekends and all that. And then we typically would spend our Christmas holidays up at the house. So as time wears on, kids get up, they go to college, they grow up, and no one was really using it. My parents thought about selling it, but there's the emotional tie. And then when we got older and we started having kids, and what do you want to do with your kids? You want to take them on experiences that you enjoyed as a child.
Yeah.
So every year I brought my children back to the house. We would spend a good portion of our summer. We would spend Christmas holidays up there, and we'd go up there and do that. So when it came time, as my parents got older, it was, what are we going to do with the house?
Yeah.
It's costly to manage. You have to manage it. It required maintenance. My parents were in their sunset years. They weren't ready to start pouring money into a house that people didn't use too much. So that's when I came up with the brilliant idea of, why don't we Airbnb it?
Yeah.
So they said, well, let's see. And I said, give me 3 years. And if after 3 years I can't do it, then we'll sell the house. But, give me 3 years. So I got shot out of a cannon. I listed it on Airbnb. I knew absolutely nothing. Luckily, some of the people who reserved and stayed the first summer came back because I did not know what I was doing. But so the house pays for itself. Like the Airbnb covers all the carrying costs of the house. But then at the same time, we've been able to do some real upgrades to the house. And then the house always has someone in it.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, we get to use it certain portion of the day. So we still reserve right to use it different times of the year.
Yeah.
And actually that group of 8 investors, they are all still there.
Wow.
It's all their families. So the 4 houses on either side of this lodge house, and they've been redone and added to and all that, but they're all the families of all the men that bought the house. So there's a good family lineage. When they come up, they're like, oh, we all know each other's kids and all that. And so we trade stories. So that makes it really fun.
Oh, it's neat. It's neat. I'm curious, what's the drive like from Chicago to the vacation rental?
It varies, and anyone who lives in a big city knows it depends all on traffic. And so if you're coming, we were on the south side of Chicago. So from the south side of Chicago, not hitting a lot of traffic, it's probably about 5 hours. It's not bad, between 4.5 and 5 hours. If you're coming from the north side of Chicago, closer to the border with Wisconsin, that could be just a 4-hour ride or under a 4-hour ride. And in this day and age of grocery delivery and everything, on our way up north, that's what we called it. We called it going up north. On our way up, we beforehand, we would place a grocery order at the Walmart in the town right before the house. It's 20 miles before the turnoff to our house. And so we would pick up our groceries on the way and then continue on to the house. So you kind of feel like, sometimes the moms in the group, we're the hunters and gatherers. So everyone goes on vacation, and then mom has to take 2 or 3 hours to go to the grocery store, shop and everything, bring it home, put it all away. So that kind of avoids that hassle. Gotta love technology on that.
Yeah, no, totally. What have been some of the challenges that you've had as an Airbnb host?
The challenges, they kind of fall into a couple of categories. One is something always breaks. That's unfortunate. Unfortunately, that's life.
Yeah.
Sometimes the garbage disposal is not going to work, or this isn't going to work. And in that, most of the time, guests are pretty understandable. They let me know. We need to figure out what's going on. A lot of times people are like, hey, just so you know, this broke. If it's a broken eye or a broken eye, like I had a broken stool, and they were all worried. I'm like, it broke. That happens. Don't worry about it. Right. It's nothing major.
Right.
The unfortunate things that can happen, the bad things, is when you get some bad actors. In the first year, we were not really good about screening some of the people who would come in. And so we had one group, they were just so disruptive. They were driving their Jeep down around the lake area, which is the beach, which is where people walk and swim. Like, cars should not be down there. They were shooting off guns and fireworks at 3 a.m. At night. It's just being, on any normal day, just being bad neighbors.
Right.
And since this is really a family area, I started screening people, basically saying, listen, if this is a big bachelor party, this probably isn't going to be the property for you, because this is a family area. And if you guys are going to be hell raising till 1, 2 in the morning, the neighbors are going to come over and knock on the door. And if that's what you want to do, you don't want neighbors coming over and knocking on the door. No one wants that.
Right.
So I tried to screen, and that has helped a lot, and that has kind of cleared away some people. And then we had an issue with one neighbor. Actually, it was the one house that did change hands. So she was the outsider to this part of the lake. She didn't like the fact that it was always being rented because it was busy. over by the lake. I said, well, this is my house. I mean, it'd be busy if I was there.
Right.
So if they're doing something wrong, that I understand. But if they're just outside sitting around the fire at 9 o'clock at night, that's what I'd be doing. But she got upset. She moved. She sold the house back and sold to a local person. And so now everything's good.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, you just have to be good neighbors, and you hope that everyone else is. And I think like 90% of the world are pretty much good neighbors. It's just the 10% bad actors that create a lot of stress.
Right. There's always that one neighbor.
Yeah. I did have one person stage the house, saying it was unclean, and like threw an egg on the floor, and then said that my cleaning lady didn't clean the shower, that there was hair on the soap dish. And it was like any normal person would have seen this wad of hair on the soap dish. Like a cleaning person couldn't miss it. And so she must have like done her hairbrush and like took a picture of it. And so she was saying that she wanted a full refund. She went to Airbnb and said she wanted a full refund. But beforehand, we had talked back and forth, and she said, well, I'm going to give you a bad review unless you let us rent your boat for free. My kids will be happy about that, and then everything will be good. And I said, well, I can take a bad review. I'll just rebut it. And I sent that to Airbnb, and they were like, yeah, she was trying to shake you down. Yeah. Because they were trying to say that she wanted like $200 back from a weekend rental or something. She wanted almost the entire fee. And once I showed the emails that she had basically tried to blackmail me, then they were like, okay, then they stood behind me.
Oh my gosh, that's
I know.
I haven't heard that one. That's the first for me.
I know.
They almost shook you down. That's crazy. Is renting boats, that's something you offer at your rental?
I do. We have a pontoon boat. And so that is a separate rental agreement and per day. And that's the nice thing about that is it's right there. It's on the dock. It's right in front of the house. You don't have to drive and get it and bring it back and tow it back and land it and all that. It's right there. Yeah. There is a place nearby if people want to rent skidoos. I can tell them where to go to, or different types of boats. And of course, people always bring their own watercraft and their own boats, and there is a public landing on our lake that is free. And people who are not from around Wisconsin, they're like, how much is it to use it every day? I'm like, it's free. They're like, you're kidding. I guess in Texas it's like $5 or $10 every time you put in a boat and take it out. So I'm like, no, it's right there. So that's really convenient for people who bring their own boats, and then they just anchor it off the shore. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. For you, finding someone to clean the rental, how did you go about finding somebody?
Word of mouth. We've gone through 3 cleaners, and honestly, the best one that I had was I went through Craigslist, and I found this lady who, lucky enough for me, unfortunate for her, she had been laid off and she was just searching Craigslist for gig jobs. And so she connected with me, and I was going to be up there. So she came up and I interviewed her. I actually interviewed about 4 people, and I interviewed her, and our personalities just clicked. And the other thing was I connected with someone else who Airbnbs on a lake very close to ours, like 2 miles away. And I said, how are you doing it? And she said, that's been the trouble for her. She was having trouble finding someone. So this one woman that I found, she's cleaning for me, and then I referred her to the woman that I had been talking about on Airbnb. So I referred to her, she hired her, and then there's another house very close on the lake. It's close enough. So she was referred to her. So now she's picked up 3 jobs. Now she's kind of cobbled together her own business. Just from that one Craigslist, and she's fantastic. She does a fantastic job, And she even asked, she goes, "Can I rearrange your cabinets?" And like, these were the cabinets that you just do it like you did it when we were growing up. That's how we did. She's like, "I think I can rearrange them. They'll be much more efficient." And then like she did it. She took pictures and I was like, "Yeah, that looks way better." So she takes a little initiative, which is good. She does a few things and she does a great job. So hopefully I'm going to keep her around for a long, long time.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Yeah, because they're not just cleaning your place; they're like doing a little bit extra things, like as because you're hosting.
Yeah,
so it's a little different.
She does. She puts a little. She organized a little gift basket, that she puts on the table. So when you enter and you see it, the gift basket is right. It's just the little touches that. I grew up going to this house for 45 years, so I don't think about it because I'm always going into my own home. Like I don't go into it thinking like I'm going into a resort. So it never dawned on me, oh yeah, a gift basket, that might be a nice touch. So she does that. And in the summer, she'll go get like a case of cheap wine and put like, the wine bottle, or she tries to figure out if it's a group of adults coming in, she'll put a wine bottle. If it's a family, she'll put like popcorn and stuff like that, for kids, try to appeal to all of them.
That's awesome. That's so cool. How long do you anticipate like being a host for?
I don't know what the end game is with this one. Well, the positive is we've been able to keep the house in the family. This is there's a lot of emotions. I'll get emotional. There's a ton of emotions tied up into it. We just lost my mom. And about 10 years ago, we lost one of my brothers. So, those are our memories. So it's good that I can go and remember all that stuff and feel closer to my mom and my brother. Like, you look at, something hanging on the wall and I'm like, oh, Mom put that up there. Actually, the wallpaper in the house, my dad put it up himself. And it's great wallpaper, very 1970s, very, very Northwoods, orange evergreen trees, very 1970s. And the trees are upside down. He put the wallpaper on upside down. You can never undo that. Like, we can never cover over that wallpaper. So like the emotional part of that is great. And it's just, you get up there and you kind of sit on the deck and you just look out on the lake and you just can chill. So with that respect, sharing that with other people has afforded that for me. But then it's fun to watch other families build their same experiences. So there's actually two families that I've become pretty close with friends-wise, and they were just first-year renters. And so there's one family, they come in the week after we come in July, and that's their family reunion. And so he's like, like typically you would check out at 10 o'clock and you would check in at 4 o'clock. Well, we stay, have a couple of cocktails, they come early, we kind of overlap, and then we go. But it's fun because like throughout the week they send us pictures. Cool. So it's fun watching other people enjoy the things that you would have done there. So that's fun. You get to know people, and you generate business for the local economy. Like, people are coming to stay at my house, but when they stay at my house, they're going to the gas station, they're going to the local grocery store, they're going to the local golf course, they're visiting the bars. They're doing all of the things. So, and if something breaks, I have a local handyman. I pay him. The cleaning lady, like I said, she was out of a job. She didn't know what she was going to do with COVID. And now she's cobbled together this, and she's happy as a clam. So in that respect, it has, put some money back into the local economy, as little as I can do. But I try and be a good steward of the local area.
That's awesome. Your story, just sharing about like this is your home. Like this isn't just a hotel. Like this is like more. There's like memories at the place that you're staying at. I think that's something so special about like this whole like Airbnb and just kind of like vacation rental sharing, kind of like this whole space, which is just like so unique when you enter into someone's home and like you're like, hey, like people grew up here. There's history here.
There is.
Yeah.
We have some old pictures, and so some people, very 1970s, like my parents and all of us on the snowmobiles, and it looks like the 70s or the 80s. So people like to see that, and we have a lot of our old toys from when we were. When my dad bought the place, my youngest sister was 9 months old. So there's toys there, and like I was going through them, I'm like, that's Uncle Eddie's fire truck, that. And then we have a whole game cabinet, because we would go up there and we would play Monopoly and what was the game that was brand new when we were kids, with it's the quiz game with all the pieces of the pie. You have to get all the ones. Oh, I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was a big one, but I mean, it was a big. We'd play that all weekend long. So we have a game cabinet, so kids can. So hopefully, you can recreate some of that.
Yeah, totally. Well, let's. I wanted to show off your place, so let's.
Yes.
Kind of dive
there it is. My little happy place.
Yeah, in the winter, and then also in the spring and everything.
Yep.
Let's see on Airbnb. So this is where it's on the map. Let's see, Wisconsin.
They call it North Central Wisconsin because you can't just pick one.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're like right in the middle, like of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So let's.
But it is very Northwoods.
Northwoods, awesome. Click on here and we'll dive in. This is
so that is from the lake. I'm standing out on a frozen lake looking at the front of the house.
Oh, okay.
And in the winter you can go out, you can ice fish, you can snowmobile on the lake. As long as it's been cold, that lake is solid.
Nice.
And that's in the summer. I was probably out on the boat or sitting on a surfboard or something taking a picture.
Yeah. Do most people come in the wintertime or in the summertime?
We get more activity in the summer. We get sporadic but kind of increasing winter. Winter can be quite cold up there, so if you're going in for skiing or snowmobiling or something like that, but we get some activity in the winter.
Cool. On the side. Is there a basement? Is this the basement? Or
let me see. That's the family room. Now, think about it. This was an old lodge. And in the old lodge, you had a central house that had a bar. And so this is the sitting room looking towards the bar. So there's a small sitting area, but the lodge, when it was in operation, it had a working bar. And I'm convinced that's why my dad bought it. Is he went in and he looked at the bar and he was like, yeah.
Sold.
Sold, yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's the sitting area. That's from the bar looking in at the sitting area. We have a bigger TV there now. I need to lighten those pictures. But we have the TV, but we try and not have a lot of, there's TVs and movies and internet and some games. I think there's a VCR and a DVR player. But with an area like that, when we were growing up, my dad wouldn't let us have TV there. We had, because we were supposed to be enjoying nature, enjoying outside. So that's why we did a lot of game playing and would be outside most of the time.
That's awesome. Smart dad.
Yeah. There's a wood burning fireplace, so that's it. Whenever I smell, a wood burning fireplace, I always say it smells like Wisconsin, because we always had a fire going.
Oh, cool.
Now that is, and my cleaning lady totally rearranged this area. That is an enclosed porch, and at the very end of the porch, you can see a bed there. That's my dad's bed because he liked going to sleep and looking out the window and seeing the stars while he went to sleep.
Oh, cool.
And so there's all the activities, like we have spare golf clubs, toys, kids' toys, pool toys, or lake toys, things like that. That's all on that enclosed porch. But it's much tidier at this moment in time because the cleaning lady said, "Can I rearrange this?" And I said, "Sure, go ahead." And she sent me a picture. I was like, "Yeah, good idea."
Oh, that's awesome. I see there's looks like paddle boards or surfboards.
I do. I have 3 paddle boards that just come with the house.
Nice.
Just use them, and people go out and paddleboard around. There's an island. The kids typically like to paddleboard out to the island and walk around the island. When they were little, we used to do treasure hunts there. My husband would go over there the day before and plant treasures. And then we'd make a little treasure map for them, and then we'd take them over to the island, and they would hunt through and find all the little treasures. And actually, last year on the island, there was a big eagle with an eagle's nest and 4 babies. Yeah,
wow,
we had 4 babies.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we couldn't have fireworks on July 4th because the babies were too little. You couldn't disrupt them. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. And that's so cool that you have the paddle boards available for guests. That's really nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. So that's a huge kitchen. It was a commercial kitchen. So that's a huge kitchen with a big picnic table, seating for 8. We've got 2 refrigerators, a stove, dishwasher, sink, coffee makers. There's a washer and dryer there. We asked that guests don't use them. I'm sure people have done before, but if they use them, it just kind of kills the utility costs and our water usage.
Got it. Bar.
And that's the bar. Yes, the bar. The bar, and then off in the back on the left is that's the entertainment cabinet. That's where that whole cabinet is full with games and coloring, and that's the kids cabinet. If it's rainy out, that's the cabinet you want to go to.
Bar, kitchen, dishwasher.
See, very 1970s.
Yeah, that's good. Kitchen. That's a really big table, by the way. Seating for 8. That's pretty rare.
Well, my parents had 6 kids.
Yeah.
And we always had friends up there with us. Whenever we were going, we were always bringing friends with us for the weekend. So my mom had to feed all those damn mouths.
That's awesome.
Oh, there's the enclosed porch now that it's being redone.
Awesome.
See how much nicer she made it look?
Yeah, no, it's cleaned up.
Yeah. She earned her keep then.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
So, all right, now we're upstairs. That is the master bedroom. We call it the girls' room because that's where all the girls slept. So there's a king-size bed up there, and there's a bunk bed and a trundle. So especially when you get multiple families, usually families, when we all go up there, my extended family, we kind of separate. You get the girls' room, you get the boys' room, you get mom's room, and we try and kind of separate that way. So that's got 5 beds in that room.
Nice.
And we have we have those child guards for the bunk beds. We have 2 of those up there, so that if you have little ones on the top bunk,
I see it.
They won't fall out. Yeah, the little guards.
Nice. Yeah. I've definitely fallen out of bunk bed.
Oh well,
Oh man. Oh, okay.
So that's the second room, or what growing up I would have called that the boys' room. So that's got a bunk bed, a twin bed, and there's also a trundle in there that you can pull out. So they're all twin beds. But it's a small room, but again, my dad said, you're not there to be in the bedrooms, you're there to go outside and play.
Right.
That's what we call my mom's room. And so there's 2 twin beds up there.
So there's a lot of beds in this.
Well, my mom
place,
was, we had a big family, and she wanted to make sure everyone had a bed can sleep. No one was allowed to sleep like on sleeping bags on the floor. She thought that was like a cardinal sin.
Got it. Wait, what's the limit on amount of people that you can?
Negotiable. So you see, that's in the hallway. On one end of the hallway upstairs, there's a twin bed, and there's a rollaway bed up there folded up by the window.
Oh.
And then on the other side of the hallway, which I think the next picture is, there's that. That is the stairways coming up in the hallway.
It's like a Murphy
There's
bed.
Another bed.
Yeah.
There's another bed. So I list it as 12 because, I mean, upstairs you can sleep 11 people. So I listed at 12 because we have the bed on the first floor, which has become pretty handy a couple times when you have either an elderly person who can't handle the stairs, or there was one person, her daughter had just had surgery. She was in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice she didn't have to go up and down the stairs. She slept downstairs. So I listed at 12, but with the basement, we have some beds down there as well. And I just ask an additional fee because then you're using more water, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But just keep it at 12 because am I sure that someone came in with 13 or 14 and didn't tell me? Probably.
Yeah, but no big deal.
You can only do so much. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the basement. And in the basement, we've got another set of bunk beds.
More beds. Yeah.
More beds. More bunk beds. She loved her bunk beds. And then on the far side is a queen size fold out couch.
Oh, this.
And then, that's a queen size fold out couch.
No way. Okay.
So you can so essentially another family, or a lot of times when we were growing up and when all the cousins are there, that's where all the cousins kind of gather. They all sleep downstairs to be away from the adults. And then the ping pong table, and if that's in the way, you can just fold it up and push it off to one side.
Right.
That is our brand new bathroom upstairs,
looks
our wet
nice.
bathroom. It's much nicer than, we had an RV shower that my dad had put up in there, very 1970s chic. So it's kind of a wet bath, but a corner shower, and it's brand spanking new.
Yeah, looks like it.
And that is the downstairs bathroom with an RV shower. That'll be next winter of 20, like the winter of 21. Next November, December, we'll renovate that bathroom.
Nice.
And you see the groovy wallpaper.
Yes, I did notice that. I was like, nice.
Look at that. Oh, it's special.
Yeah, it's unique. I'm all for it.
1970s Sears. So that's our parking lot. That's from the house looking out to the woods. We have a really large parking lot. So if you come up with a trailer, you're pulling a boat or snowmobiles, you can park in the parking lot. There's lots of areas if you wanted to set up a badminton court or a volleyball court. There's room in front of the house to do that. Usually that's my job before our family reunion. I show up a couple days ahead of time and I set up all the badminton courts. I do the hunting and gathering and get the boat in and get everything set up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other bathroom on the first floor, and more groovy wallpaper.
Nice.
I don't know what we're going to do there. So that's a view off the dock, or not off the dock, off the deck, looking out into the lake. That's the boat that we have for rental if you want. We have a fire pit, so you're welcome to sit outside by the fire pit. In fact, I highly encourage it.
Yeah.
That's the island I was talking about. So that's probably a fall picture.
It's beautiful.
Fall's really pretty up there.
Yeah. Oh.
That is the very first family that rented our house. and they're big fishermen. This is one of the families we've become good friends with, and he caught a 56. It was about a 60-pound muskie right off our dock. My dad has been fishing for that fish for 40 years.
Wow.
And this guy rolls up and throws in a lure. So he put it back in the lake for someone else to catch. But that was the first, like when I first started Airbnb, and that was the first picture they sent me. And I was like, oh, and my dad was so jealous.
It's like he stays there one night and gets it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's how it goes sometimes though. That's good. I'm glad he put it back. That's really cool.
Yeah, he put it back. And that's probably either sunrise. That's probably sunset over the lake. During the winter, you can see the icicles.
Sunrise. There we go.
Yep. And that's a picture I got from another family that went up there during the winter to go ice fishing, and that's what they caught.
Oh, people are just hanging out on the lake. You're saying some hiking trails that you would recommend?
There's hiking trails. It's called the Ice Age Trails. I think you can go hiking around you can either hike, and then in the wintertime, people will do cross-country skiing. And then there's another system of trails in Lake County. There are the Jack Lake trails, and they're really popular with snowmobilers. They're really fun and well-known. So that's the Jack Lake trails, and you could snowmobile right from my back door out to the trails. You don't have to drive anywhere or anything. If your snowmobile is with you at the house, you can walk out, jump on the snowmobile, and off you go.
How cool! And it's so you're really close then, by like.
Oh yeah. Well, we're right off the trail. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right off the trail. That's great. That's fantastic. As if someone is into that.
Yeah.
With snowmobiles and stuff. This is a ski lodge that you recommended, which is, you said about 20-30 minutes from you.
About 30, yeah, between 20 and 30 minutes. Camp 10. It's a real family, mom and pop run and own ski area. I learned how to ski there, and my kids learned how to ski there. And so I recommend everyone go there. It's a small little place, but it's really an enjoyable day to spend, especially if you're just learning. Yeah.
No, that's great. And then you said it's a little bit, they're smaller. It's better like to learn, like, so the slopes aren't as huge.
Yeah, the slopes are not really huge. It's a good family place and just to learn. Yeah. They've got a bunny hill, and so you can just kind of throw the kids on the bunny hill. In the wintertime, I know people go up. I think some people do mountain biking around there. I haven't done that.
Awesome. And then if you're a little more advanced,
you're a little more advanced and you want to get a bigger mountain or a bigger area, you can drive north about an hour and 15 minutes to a place called Brule. It's a little busier, a little bigger, a little bit more diverse.
Some of, like a bigger slope.
Yeah, it's much bigger. Yeah.
No, but I like that there's that easy family option not too far away.
Yeah. And the easy family option is if you have little kids or kids that are just beginner skiers, it's really, I would not worry about throwing your kids out on the slopes and sitting in the warming house all day long, where you probably, most parents wouldn't do that at other places. That place, Camp 10, is so small that I wouldn't hesitate at all.
Yeah, no, that's so good. It looks like there's a lot to do. There's like hiking, depending on the season in which you go.
Yeah, it's very seasonal. And one thing we didn't talk about was in the fall, there's a lot, that's hunting season. So if you're a hunter, deer, pheasant, and whatever else you hunt, I'm not really sure. I'm not a hunter, but we do get a couple of rentals during the fall or people just going up there for golfing weekends in the fall when the colors are out. That could be really nice.
That's so cool. I didn't realize that. There's a lot of, yeah, I mean, clearly there's a lot of wildlife, but it's open for hunting. Yeah.
Well, it's Wisconsin.
That's good.
I know people have lots of different
views,
feelings about it, but I grew up in it. I personally don't do it, but it's just kind of it's kind of the culture up there.
Yeah.
So.
Do you like when somebody hunts a deer? Do you like have you had, I guess random question, have you had a deer burger? A deer burger, like to eat? Like,
oh, venison? As a burger? No. Usually up there they'll make sausage out of it or venison steaks. But yeah, I've eaten it.
Oh. How is it?
It's pretty good. Yeah, I like it. I did. My nephew went hunting and he shot a deer, and they made a lot of venison sausage and salami out of it, and it wasn't too good.
Oh.
So I don't know if it was the deer or the preparation, or I was just like, okay, thank you. But I've had like in restaurants and stuff, venison stew and all that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like in my mind, that's the point of hunting, right? To eat it. Like,
well, up there it is a source of food. I mean, it's more than just game. That is a very rural area. It's very agriculturally based, and it is a source of food.
Well, cool, Callie. Thank you so much for sharing just how you got started at Airbnb. I love that, like this, like the emotional side of like you, like this is the house that you grew up in, and like it's so much more than just like a source of income or just to keep the house. It's like there's that emotional tie, and then also sharing about Wisconsin culture and things to do around there. And just really, really appreciate you taking time to share.
Oh, thank you so much. I enjoyed it. It was a nice trip down memory lane.
That's good. Awesome, guys. Well, till next time, and appreciate having you again. Yeah.
Thank you.